This episode is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. It's a special thing to be a member of Navy Federal because they are a member-owned, not-for-profit credit union that invests in its members with amazing rates and low fees. That's why members could earn and save more every year. Plus, they serve all branches of the armed forces, veterans, and their families. So if you're interested in becoming a member, learn more at NavyFederal.org. At Navy Federal Credit Union, our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
It's time. Time to get credit for the work you've done. Time to get the recognition you deserve. With Purdue Global, you can move forward in your career, for your family, and for yourself. You're worth the investment in yourself to earn a degree you're proud of, a degree that employers will respect. Purdue's online university is designed to support working adults like you who know it's never too late to accomplish your goals. It's never too late to make a comeback. It's time to start yours today at purdueglobal.edu.
Episode 199, How Minimalism Can Change Your Life and Finances.
Welcome to the Frugal Friends podcast, where you'll learn to save money, embrace simplicity, and live a richer life. Here are your hosts, Jen and Jill.
Welcome to the Frugal Friends podcast. My name is Jen.
My name is Jill.
And we are almost 200 episodes in.
One episode away from 200.
Just wait till we get to episode 200 and all of the singing. I'm so sorry in advance, but we're very excited to get to this milestone, to be so close to it.
It is the last milestone, I think, that we can technically achieve on our podcast hosting platform. They give us little awards for these different milestones. And I think 200 episodes is the last one. And then we've just hit it all.
Oh my gosh.
So we just go home.
When we first switched to Buzzsprout, we had already been recording for 3 years or more. Yeah. And so we hit all of the milestones in 1 week. It was amazing. It felt so gratifying to just day after day after day be congratulated.
Yes. We both kept getting these emails nonstop. You have another subscriber. You have another listener. And we're like, I know. Keep up, so Buzzsprout. But now this is the last one. There's no more awards for us, Jen.
You'll have to, as listeners, start to figure out awards for us, and you can leave them in the reviews for the show on Apple or wherever you listen. And to reward you, to thank you for doing that, we're going to give you episode 199, which is not important enough to be episode 200. And it's about minimalism and how it can change your life and your finances, because both of those things are intertwined. They have to be.
We love talking about minimalism and simple living and frugality and how they all pair together. So this is going to be a good one. And we've done other episodes like it, but I think always with a different perspective in each one. So how it helps your life and finances is today's look. But first,
absolutely,
our sponsors. The Modern Frugal Living ebook. If you are on our email list, you have in your inbox at this very second a free ebook with over 200 ways to save money. And it includes checklists and resources so you can take action on the highest impact strategies quickly. If you're not on our email list, then you can still get the book for free. Just head to frugalfriendspodcast.com/ebook to get your promo code. And everyone is getting 2 weeks of accountability emails to help you take action. So head to frugalfriendspodcast.com/ebook and start getting those quick wins that will snowball your momentum to financial freedom.
Ow. This episode is also brought to you by Sweden. Sweden wants you to stop blaming it for traditional minimalist design. Minimalist design was actually originated from designs in the Netherlands in the early 1900s and traditional Japanese design, not Sweden, since the first IKEA didn't even open till 1943. That single white chair and round table are not the original minimalist icons. Sweden, it's not neutral on this fact that you need to stop blaming it for minimalist design. Not neutral.
Wow, an entire country sponsored us.
Yeah, that was more of a PSA.
Yeah.
When Sweden reached out, I just had to help them because they really are sad about this, that people think that they have to adhere to IKEA in order to be minimalist.
Setting the
It's not
record
true.
straight, but sorry, Sweden, that you couldn't be episode 200. Just $199 for you.
You are so good, but not good enough to be episode 200. Other episodes that are not good enough to be episode 200 also are on minimalism. And if you like this idea, you're jiving on it, here are a few to queue up to play next. So we've got episode 109, which is how to maintain a minimalist lifestyle. We've got episode 141 on minimalist budgeting. That is a favorite of mine. Episode 162, creating a minimalist schedule. That one was a replay because everybody loved the minimalist schedule episode. And then episode 180, minimalist investing. So if you've ever wondered how to build a comprehensive and diversified portfolio for your investments, you don't need to be a rocket scientist or a financial planner to figure that out. You can do it in just literally one fund, or we talk about 2 and 3 fund portfolios as well in that episode. So great episodes to queue up to listen to after this one.
Perfect. But let's get into this one, talking about how it can improve life and finances. This first article is from the Tanhill Homestead. Am I saying that right?
I hope so. That's how I would say it.
So they go into, the writer goes into 9 ways that she has seen minimalism help her. And super interesting because as I was reading through them, I mean, I would say for both you and I, Jen, I think we both aim at minimalism. It looks different for all people. Both articles reference that. But I found myself agreeing with so much that's in here. Like, yeah, I've experienced that too. Yeah, I've experienced that too. So I think it's worth it to go through all 9. And I'll start by saying her intro in this article does give a little bit of background. Her blog gives more background on what minimalism has meant for her, but it did include downsizing her home. And she says it's not necessary to live a minimalist life, but it's one of the things that happened for her and her family. And now she's able to homestead. So she uses some of what minimalism has provided in order to live a little bit more of a homesteading life. So I found that interesting. So if those kind of aspects of this writer's life appeal to you, definitely check out this article. But let's just go through it.
I don't know why I don't typically look at the author of our articles, but I really actually liked this one because like on the side it says, I'm Erin. I'm a modern homemaker, homesteader, and decluttering enthusiast. And I was like, yeah, like me too, except I'm not a homesteader. And I feel like a modern homemaker in that I make my child go to daycare so that I can stay home and work. But like other than that, I felt like connected to her. Or maybe I just really liked like what she's about, like simple living, sustainability. And you don't usually talk about the author either. So I know. I wasn't going to say that, but like you said it. And I just wanted to put that out there that Erin, if you're listening to this, yeah, we get it. We're vibing with it. Mm-hmm. So proceed, Jill, like talk about important stuff. Talk about something relevant.
Well, I think it's worth just going through the 9 things. I think they're all relevant. I feel as though I can relate to most of them. So one of the things that she lists that minimalism has helped her with is that she spends less time cleaning. So certainly, I think this has a lot to do with how large your house is. I mean, it doesn't matter how much stuff you have in it. If you just have more floor space and baseboards to clean, that's just a reality. But she does reference the fact that because she has less things in her home, and a more minimalist wardrobe, she spends less time doing laundry, cleaning her knacks, organizing and tidying. And she does this basically 30 minutes a day of cleaning. And that apparently allows her to also do some deep cleaning on this like 30-minute a day plan.
Good for her. Good for you, Erin.
So that's awesome. And I feel like I can relate in some ways. Sometimes it does feel for me like, oh man, there's so much to clean in my little like 1,400 square foot house. But I can only imagine how much more I would have to clean if I had more things to be taken care of. So I can definitely commiserate with that.
Yeah, I have fewer things because I am lazy and I don't want to clean. And I know that I won't. It's not that I don't want to, it's that I won't. And so I have fewer things so that I don't have to clean as often. I think we did my allergies were getting pretty bad this past allergy season. And so we did a deep clean of the entire house just for dust. And we made it a focus. So that's like a really great cleaning tip. Like, so we weren't doing decluttering. We weren't doing like sanitizing. Literally, we were just dusting. And I have some mugs on top, like decorative mugs at the top of my kitchen, on top of my cabinets. And they were gross. Like they had grease. Like I didn't know grease could get up there. And it was
the tops of kitchen cabinets gets grimy.
Clean it, y'all. It's and so I have to have cabinets, so I have to clean those. But like if I can get rid of as much other decor and appliances and things, then it's better for the once a year that I deep clean everything, because it only happens once a year. So number 2, I'm still thinking about cleaning and how much I hate it. Number 2, I have more time to do things I enjoy. So if you are spending less time cleaning, and I mean, this involves simple living, like simplifying your schedule, having a minimalist schedule as well. You can have a really minimalist home, but if your schedule is jam-packed, then you don't have time to enjoy your home. So she says with less cleaning and organizing, she can enjoy more things. But I think it goes way beyond just cleaning. I think the more we focus on minimalism in the parts beyond our physical life, and I think physical gives us a quick win, right? Like we get rid of our stuff, we can instantly see that there is less, and that permeates into other things. But yeah, you do have more time to do things that you value and that you enjoy when you are obviously not cleaning as much, but can discern the things in your calendar and in your lifestyle that are really there to serve you or are just clutter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just overall getting to the things that matter most, having a minimalist schedule, budget, home, all of these things help to clear it all away to be able to focus on what's actually most important to you. I think that's kind of the bottom line there. Number 3 that she lists on here is that she has more money. So by reducing consumption and paying attention to where her money goes more each month, it saves money. It frees up money. And I would agree. I think that this has been my experience as well. Minimalism has taught me a lot about contentment, not wanting as much, being happy with the things that I do have because they actually serve a function for me. And so I'm not spending as much. So it frees up money for other things, the things that I want that money to be able to go to.
Yeah. And I say this quite a lot for me, like if I have a minimalist design and a minimalist home, then I no longer buy home decor for anything. Like if you believe that a part of your life is complete physically, then you no longer spend money to complete it. So whether that is your home design or, gosh, this might be a little too deep, but like even your body, like if you feel like your body, if you're content, you feel like your body is complete, then you will no longer waste money trying to make it complete.
Ooh.
So there is,
Whoa.
it just, yeah, and unpack that how you will. But Yeah, I mean, if you have this mindset, then yeah, you no longer spend money trying to complete things if you feel they are complete.
Why I just, stop showering, brushing my teeth. Like, I am enough and I am complete.
You are unpacking that a little.
No, but that's excellent, Jen, because I think, you're talking about spending money on various diets and fads that might not actually be serving us. It's spending money on maybe even cosmetic things or clothing because we think it's going to give us the next boost of beauty or acceptance. And so if we are content with ourselves and some of the basic ways that we're caring for ourselves, that's definitely going to reduce the amount of spending. I love that.
And that said, I mean, I spend money on a gym membership and races. Like, I spend money, to help my body, but not because I think it's incomplete. It's because I enjoy challenging my body to do better things.
Well, there's a maintenance component. I think it doesn't negate nutrition and exercise, but the things that are above and beyond that, and they cost more than what we actually need to be spending, or if it's related to being discontent, that's another story.
Right. I think it's the discontentment portion, whether we're talking about body image or home image. If you're content, you're looking for ways to improve. If you are discontent, you're looking for ways to complete. And both have a cost, but one is like at cost of, your mental health to an extent. Number 4 is I'm conscious about the things I buy. I love this one because it's so rare for people to talk like outside of the sustainability niche to talk about sustainability. And I'm just like glad that she's putting it into the context. Like, she's conscious about the items and not just, I mean, she doesn't talk about cost, but she's not just like buying things because they are the cheapest. So she says, I take my time when purchasing a new shirt or piece of technology. I think if I really need it or not. When it comes to the beauty products or the food, she pays attention to ingredients. And I would say also pay attention to where a garment is made or how it's made, where you're getting it from. So you can, if you're buying less, if your shopping is minimalist, then you can take more time to think about the journey that an item takes to get into your house. You can't do that if you're buying a lot.
I'm definitely a lot more conservative with my spending when I think, do I want to have this for years to come versus just approaching it from either not really thinking that much or throwaway thoughts, where you just, okay, it doesn't matter. I like it. Maybe I'll wear it once, but is this going to be a regular part of my wardrobe? Do I like all facets of it and all the ways that it fits? I think it makes me personally a lot more choosy. And as a result, I do spend less because that is kind of the standard. Now that I've done this work, I'm really bullish about not wanting to bring more things into my house.
Yeah. And I think I also like to think like, is buying this, and I think about this for new items because I don't buy exclusively used, but when I buy something new, I was like, am I okay? Am I telling this company that I am okay with the way this is made? That I want them to produce more of this item in the way that it was produced. Because when you give a company money, you're telling them, I want more of what you're doing. Because the only thing that talks is money in the marketplace.
Business, sure.
Yeah. That's the only thing that talks. So if you do not give a company your money, then you are telling them, I do not like your business practice. If you do, then you are saying, do more of what you're already doing.
Number 5 is I don't feel guilty about the items that I keep. Oh, I love this one too, because once you've done, and minimalism isn't just about the declutter. I think it's one small aspect. Somehow it gets most of the attention. Yeah, declutter needs to happen, but minimalism is more of a lifestyle and approach. And so once that happens, the things that we do have and keep and choose to continue to engage and interact with, there's not guilt about that because there has been intentionality in why am I keeping this? Or if I buy something, what am I going to use this for, and making sure that it lasts a while. So there doesn't have to be that like emotional, mental baggage with the things that are in my home of like, why is this here? It's taking up so much mental space and capacity. So I would agree with this one too. Very guilt-free with the possessions that remain in my home.
Well, we have to say the same thing about our spending. When we sometimes budget for something and spend on it, if you're really pushing to reach a financial goal, you can feel guilty even spending money on the things that you've budgeted for. So there has to be this shift in saying like, there is no guilt on the things that I spend money on if I know that that is what I value. And there's no guilt on the things that I don't spend money on. And transferring it to there's no guilt for getting rid of something, and there's no guilt for keeping something. You design your own minimalism and it's yours. And you shouldn't, if any part of it makes you feel guilty, then you're either following somebody else's standard of minimalism, or you have to like really look inside to see like, okay, where is that from? Where is that coming from? And how can I like get that out of here?
The part about the gifts in this section makes me laugh. They're saying, oftentimes you're given a gift out of tradition or obligation. And the writer said, it isn't due to someone wanting to give you something you keep the rest of your life. I don't know anyone that gives you something and expects you to keep it no matter what. And apparently she's not met my mom. I'm like, what? No, I definitely have received gifts where the expectation from the gifter is that I will use it and love it and keep it forever. Thankfully, my mother knows me well enough at this point that she has needed to come to accept the fact that I probably won't keep hardly anything from my childhood or otherwise.
My mom told me last Christmas, she's like, be upfront with me. If you plan on returning or giving away anything I give you, just give it back to me. And I was like,
there you go.
Oh, that's gotten obvious.
Yes.
I have not hid it anymore. But it's also like, so she gives much better gifts now. Like because of that, she's more intentional about the gifts she gives us, because of that. And I don't know. I don't think that's like a sale to like train your family to give better gifts. But I am thinking now she thought that I would keep everything.
Yeah. I think that's only a mother situation. I think most other people who give you a gift, there's no obligation there. Unless your mother gives you a gift. It's full of obligation and expectation. But you know what? That's where boundaries and communication come into play. We can all learn and grow.
Absolutely. All right. So number 6 is that for her, life is simpler. She says, my life is simpler and more enjoyable. Everything simple wardrobe, simple meal plans, simpler routines. I love this idea of simple over minimal. Because when we think of minimalism and minimalist, we think of less. Mostly. I just think of simpler because simple things that are simple are sustainable. Like minimal isn't always sustainable, but simple is sustainable. When you've got the simple wardrobe, you wear it. You go through everything. And since you're wearing everything, you actually keep, things last longer because you're not wearing, there's this weird phenomenon. If you have like 30 shirts, then you wear like 2 shirts over and over again. And so those don't last, and then you don't wear the other 28. But if you have 10 shirts, you cycle through all 10. And I don't know the research to back that up. I don't even know if there's research, but in my life, that is a weird phenomenon that I've seen. So that's, simple wardrobe, simple meal plans, simple recipes get done. Like if your meal plan is full of like gourmet things from the feed, like cut it out because those the food like ingredients go to waste. Like simple meal plans, simple recipes, simple routines that like don't make your young children overwhelmed or you. Like that is minimalism to me. It's cutting out all the clutter in every part of your life, simplifying so that all that remains is what lights you up and what lights your partner up and what lights your family up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that distinction that it's possible that we might have a few extra things in order to make life more simple for our circumstances. So yeah, again, just permission to have this look for you different from other people, whatever's going to work though. Number 7 on here is I enjoy being at home. And I can really resonate with this one too. Mm-hmm. This is like a newfound experience for me. I don't know that I ever used to be one to fully understand when people are like, I just like being home. I just want to go home and be home. And it still is not totally 100% my mantra.
Yeah.
But I do understand it more.
You travel a lot.
Yeah.
But you also have people at your home a lot. So
yeah. It probably has to do with having a home. But certainly when it feels peaceful and calm, that can create a cozy and comfortable environment. When it doesn't feel dirty, untidy, overwhelming, chaotic, busy, complicated, then home can be a really enjoyable, restful place. And certainly where you have contentment, then yeah, you certainly feel at home there. So I love what she's saying there, and I can attest to that as well.
Yeah, I think with anything that is unknown, we avoid it. So as she's saying, like, now that she's, simplified and minimized, she can find things so she doesn't have to waste time searching for things. Like when before paying off debt, I just avoided my Navient account like the plague because I didn't want to look at it because I didn't know how I was going to pay it off. So I didn't look at it. And like when your home is cluttered and you don't know how to get it to the picture that you want it to look like, you just avoid it. You avoid being there. But if you can like bust it out and you subtract everything. I heard this recently, this design tip. It was from like fix and flip rehabbers from real estate, but I think it was so wise. It said add by subtracting. So basically for their properties, they just take away everything as much as possible, leave the things that are still, working and have to be there, and then just take away everything else. Landscaping, just take it all away, and then only add back what is like desperately necessary. It's like mulch on the ground, very minimal everything. And I love that idea. I did this on a smaller scale with my fridge, and it was inadvertent because we had to clean the fridge front face, and we took off all of the magnets and pictures and drawings, and then I only put back what I thought really needed to be there. And it's something I wouldn't have done just like looking at it, just taking things off. But I had to take away everything and only intentionally put back what I wanted. And what a great way to look at things, to always just have the mindset of, okay, let's strip everything away and we only put back what matters. And that's a lot easier than trying to just like take things away slowly or nitpick away.
Yeah. I like allowing the holidays to jumpstart that for me. So I decorate for Christmas every year. And then I feel like I experience what you're describing when I take all of the decorations down and I repack everything up. It almost gives me fresh eyes for the space of, oh yeah, I do like it so much more when there's not as much stuff. And then the things that I choose to put back into that space are much more intentional. And so I think even grasping onto some of these typical rituals and routines throughout our year can help us to see how we want the space to look and be and what's most important to remain.
Yeah. All right. The last one for me is I notice and appreciate more of the small things in life. And this is super important. There are so many small things that we try to ignore, like by being on our phones or just focusing on like big things. But like she's saying, before decluttering, I was distracted by all the stuff, didn't see the small things in life that really added value. Now I make sure to take note of small things with gratitude journaling. She spends 5 minutes writing all the things she's grateful for the day. I really am a huge advocate for just one sentence journaling, like one sentence every day, something you're thankful for or something that happened, whatever. But just like one sentence a day. That's all you need to have 365 sentences in a year. How great is that?
That's awesome. I like that. Super attainable. And the last one on this list is my mental health has improved. So for this article, they're saying that minimalism has absolutely freed up mental space, noticing that sensory levels are more stable. And just an overall, again, I think contentment, it sounds like for her, minimalism has helped her focus in on her self-care routine. So again, when we have minimalism, simple ways of life, routines, schedules, it does give us time and money to put towards the things that actually matter. And so some of that can be how we choose to care for ourselves, doing things that are life-giving, enjoyable, beautiful, and that absolutely has a positive impact on our mental health. So I would agree, this is another peripheral impact of minimalism, and I love that she highlighted this.
AI might be the most important new computer technology ever. It's storming every industry, and literally billions of dollars are being invested. So buckle up. The problem is that AI needs a lot of speed and processing power. So how do you compete without costs spiraling out of control? It's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI. OCI is a single platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, and AI needs. OCI has 4 to 8 times the bandwidth of other clouds, offers one consistent price instead of variable regional pricing. And of course, nobody does data better than Oracle. So now you can train your AI models at twice the speed and less than half the cost of other clouds. If you want to do more and spend less, like Uber, 8x8, and Databricks Mosaic, take a free test drive of OCI at oracle.com/strategic. That's oracle.com/strategic. Oracle.com/strategic.
We all agree that reducing carbon emissions is a good thing. And once again, Toyota is leading the way. We hear a lot about fully electric vehicles, and Toyota has them, with more on the way. But we also know a BEV is not for everyone, whether it's because of cost, range, or concern about finding a charging station when you need it.
Plus, the raw materials used to manufacture batteries are limited. Enter Beyond Zero, Toyota's vision for a carbon-neutral future, in vehicles and in manufacturing plants, too, in the years ahead. The materials used to make just one long-range battery for an EV could be used to make batteries for 6 plug-in hybrids or 90 gas-electric hybrids. That's why Toyota's position today is electrified, diversified, empowering you to choose how to reduce your own carbon footprint with the vehicle that's right for you. A hybrid, plug-in hybrid, or battery EV. So shop, learn more, and get details at toyota.com/beyond zero. Toyota, let's go places.
So our next article is how minimalism can help or hurt your finances. So we're going to kind of breeze over this a little bit more, but we're going a little bit deeper on the money aspect. And this is from The Balance, and it's written by Elia Linton, who I actually know. So I'm excited to go through this one. What do you think about it, Jill?
I love this perspective of saying how it can help your finances and how it can hurt your finances. I think there are ways that minimalism is very congruent with frugality, and there's times when it can maybe be an offshoot of it. They may not align perfectly, or it depends on kind of how we approach frugality. But I think this is worth looking at, that it doesn't always mean that we're going to save money. It can absolutely mean that. But I love this additional perspective and almost a warning of potential pitfalls. I see this article as. So yeah, I think it's worth looking at both, how it can help and how it can hurt. And so they start off with how it can improve our finances. And so for starters, minimalism does discourage excess. So it does give this rejection of overconsumption and encourages us to limit possessions to the essentials, which is going to automatically mean buying fewer things, spending less money on maintaining or replacing belongings. So when we just don't need as much, don't buy as much, then that, of course, is going to have a good benefit on our finances, just because in general, it discourages taking on more, owning more, and instead having less.
Yes. It says minimalism forces you to prioritize your spending as well. So many people incorrectly assume minimalism means having an aversion to buying. While this indeed could be one approach, minimalism is less about avoiding spending and more about spending intentionally, which is literally all we talk about on this show. Welcome to the Frugal Friends podcast. So you just have to think twice about what you buy. You have to do the hard work of figuring out your core values, figuring out your partner, your children's, values, and making sure your spending aligns with those. And the what I will spend on list is just as important as making a list of things I won't spend on. So that's also an important list to have. So things that you have spent on in the past that you have identified do not, whether bring you joy or fulfill your values or whatever, that you make a conscious decision not to spend on in the future. For me, that's beer. And iced coffee. So I love drinking things. Coffee and alcohol are things I enjoy. But when I would go out, I would go maybe get an iced coffee because it's cheaper, or I would go to a bar and get a beer. Obviously, it's cheaper. I do not enjoy these things. I have decided. I don't like beer.
Yeah.
I don't like iced coffee. I would prefer an iced latte or a cocktail when I go out. These things are more expensive, but I have prioritized them because I value the experience more, and I will go out less if it means I can enjoy the time I have out. So I have put things on my I will not buy list. And now that I know, I can plan better and I can experience better times because of it.
I appreciate that knowledge of self. I think that comes in this whole journey of minimalism and frugality. Being curious with ourselves, knowing ourselves better, setting parameters around what's life-giving and what's not. It's all part of this. The last thing on this list, as far as how minimalism can help our finances, is that minimalism does encourage simple living. Like everything we talked about in the previous article, it's not just about having less, but can in some ways be about doing less or only engaging in activities that are fruitful, beneficial, life-giving, and maybe dropping costly commitments or activities. So it's not just about things, it can also be about experiences that we pay for. And it can help our finances when we really get in touch with what are the experiences and activities that I actually want to spend on, and only spending on those things is going to have a beneficial impact on our wallets as well.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to how minimalism can hurt your finances. And I actually think that this is more like how minimalism can hurt your heart or your pride more so than your finances, honestly, especially for this first one. So it says quality comes with a price. So one of the core tenets of minimalism is to prioritize quality over quantity, but with high quality comes a higher price tag. And so that is not necessarily hurting your finances. It definitely hurts your budget in the time that you buy it. Overall, though, we know that buying quality lasts longer, produces less waste, and saves you more in the long run, typically. So I don't think it hurts your finances, but it hurts your budget in the month you are buying it. And I think it kind of hurts me a little bit, if I'm being honest, to spend more for something of quality, even though I know that it's going to last longer and save more in the long run. Even though I know, like, it's still, I don't know, it's that scarcity mindset that just like creeps up and saying like, oh, you don't have enough money to get the nice thing. Like, you're not the nice thing buying person. You're the generic buying person. And that is, I think, more of a thing to overcome when we're talking about buying quality.
I think it can grate against some of the characteristics that can be true about us frugal folk. But I will say too, I think only spending quality on the things that matter the most. I think where it can hurt our finances is if we start to really adopt this outlook of, well, I'm minimal, so I'm only going to buy the nicest things. And then we just start doing that for even the things that we actually don't need it to be that quality, or it's not actually that important of a thing to us. I think that there are plenty of times where the middle of the road or even the lower cost option is still going to last long. And you can buy quality secondhand. You can buy very amazing things that have already been used. So I agree and I disagree with this point. I still think it depends on the approach and what it is that we choose to buy quality with.
Yeah.
In the long run, it can save us a lot of money for sure. The next one on here, though, I appreciate this point as it relates to minimalism hurting our finances. Purging can cost us. So one of the things related to minimalism is decluttering. It's not the only thing, but they're saying that it's possible that we go overboard, get rid of things, and then discover that we did need something and we rebuy it. I can see some people falling into that trap.
It is
like,
the minority,
I'm just going to throw it all away.
It's a minority. Sure. That is not the common approach.
Not the common approach. But the other thing, though, that I can see as well happening that they point out is if you really embrace the KonMari method where you only want to have things that spark joy,
that one.
Sometimes this could lead to people getting rid of something to buy the better replacement because they're going to like it more.
The whole thing with KonMari is that of course you're keeping things that don't directly spark joy, but they are a means to something that sparks joy for you. And so I think to blame it on the spark joy, excuse, I don't.
Yeah, I don't want to throw the KonMari method under the bus, but I could see that if you have something but it's not exactly the way that you want it to be, in order for you to keep it long term, it's possible that you'd get rid of it to buy its better replacement. We don't necessarily have to put KonMari into that equation. I could see that happening. For myself or others.
I could, but the sparking joy isn't the thing. Like, does this iPhone spark joy? No, but it would if it was an iPhone 82. That's the wrong mindset to do when you are doing the KonMari method. It's like, does this iPhone spark joy? Like, I get to take pictures and do all this stuff. And I would like the newer one, but this one's okay. We'll upgrade when it's time, sort of thing.
I think the key there is, potential pitfalls in it, and just a reminder to remain tethered in our process of this, that be realistic about what you're getting rid of. If you're uncertain if you're going to want it or need it in a few months from now, then you put it in a bin, out of sight, out of mind, and then come back to it 6 months later. Did you need those things? If not, then you're free to get rid of them.
Yeah.
And then just being realistic about the new things that you actually need to buy, not throwing all frugality, problem solving, and sustainability out the window.
Yeah. All right, and the last one on the list is that simple isn't necessarily cheap. And this is similar to the first one, is that quality, it does cost more than everything that's cheap. So they're saying if you're pursuing simplicity in your physical life, then that will flow over You'll want to live, more organically, sustainably, and rethink what you drive, where, all of this stuff, which is great. You should. But these things are more expensive. But the hope is that you are buying less of other stuff so that on the things you do care about, you can spend a little more for. But again, when I go to buy something that's more expensive, I could get it cheaper at lesser quality. I think, I'm not the kind of person that drives the electric car. I'm not the kind of person that shops at the health food store. It has to be an identity shift. And I know not all people think this way, but it's like what I struggle with. But I think I live more by the let's just eliminate as much as possible so that I don't have to make as many of these hard decisions. And then I'm slowly kind of getting better at buying quality, buying sustainable, and then also kind of figuring out, okay, what are the things I actually do need to buy and what are the things that I don't? Because sometimes I'll go to the other end of the spectrum to be like, okay, now I'm okay with spending money on this. So I'll just go from spending 0 on it to 400. And that's not good either.
I think overall, minimalism's ability to save us money and help our finances far and above outweighs minimalism's ability to hurt our finances. There are some active, intentional decisions we need to make in that, but mostly it's going to breed contentment and less purchasing of things. And that's the takeaway.
Yeah. But you know what I never want to minimize and I always want more of?
The bill of the week.
That's right. It's time for the best minute of your entire week. Maybe a baby was born and his name is William. Maybe you paid off your mortgage. Maybe your car died and you're happy to not have to pay that bill anymore. Duck Bills, Buffalo Bills, Bill Clinton. This is the bill of the week.
Hey everybody, this is Lisa from New York, and I am happy to say I have 100% completed paying alimony. Woohoo! Done. Girls out there, get yourselves a prenup, ladies.
Lisa, I have to be honest, I listened to this one before because it was so short. I was like, oh, is this a real bill of the week? Is this just like an accidental call? And I heard it and I laughed then and I laughed now. And it was...
I love this excitement, and it's definitely a new one for us. It's like better than the debt-free scream right now.
I am loving everything about it. It is a good idea to get a prenup, especially if you are marrying later in life. And it's not. We actually have an interview coming up next month that we've already recorded, where we talk a little bit about this. But also to be the woman who owes the alimony is also something that I am obsessed with.
Get it,
I'm
girl.
obsessed with you, Lisa, right now. It's great. I love this. Will go down as one of my favorite bills of the week. It's short, it's jubilant, and I want more of it. I want more bills like this.
And it teaches us all something.
Yes.
So well, if you want to submit your bill of the week, if you've paid your last alimony payment, or you did get a prenup, or you did not get a prenup, or it has nothing to do with your marital nuptials, visit frugalfriendspodcast.com/bill. Leave us your bill. You know we love it.
We all agree that reducing carbon emissions is a good thing. And once again, Toyota is leading the way.
Yeah, we hear a lot about fully electric vehicles, and Toyota, they got them with more on the way, I'm telling you.
We also know a BEV is not for everyone. Whether it's because of cost, range, or if you're like Ray and you're going to start freaking out, oh no, I can't find a charging station when that battery gets real low.
Yeah, plus the raw materials used to manufacture batteries are limited. Enter Beyond Zero. So Toyota's vision for a carbon neutral future in vehicles and in manufacturing plants too. In the years ahead, trust me, it's happening, baby. The materials used to make just one long-range battery for an EV could be used to make batteries for 6 plug-in hybrids or 90 gas-electric hybrids.
That's why Toyota's position today is electrified, diversified, empowering you to choose how to reduce your own carbon footprint with the vehicle that's right for you, a hybrid, plug-in hybrid, or battery EV.
So shop, learn more, or get details at toyota.com/beyond zero. Toyota, let's go places.
Vroom, vroom.
Instacart shoppers know groceries. They know that you can't make guacamole with rock-hard avocados. They know how to quickly find those peanut butter pretzels you can never find. And they keep you in the know by giving you updates about your order along the way. Let Instacart shoppers help take shopping off your plate so you can get time and energy back for what really matters. Visit instacart.com or download the app to get free delivery on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum order $10. Additional terms apply. Instacart. Add life to cart.
And now it's time for the lightning round.
Pew, pew. What frugal minimalism looks like for us, because we want to keep this minimalism real niche. Like, we're not just minimalists, we are frugal and minimalist. So that looks different than somebody who considers themselves like a sustainable minimalist primarily, or just a minimalist. So we all look
like
at
that
it differently.
distinction.
Yeah. So Jill, tell me about what frugal minimalism maybe looks like for you.
Oh, yeah. For me, it is wrapped up a lot in contentment. I think I've learned this a ton. Tiny living taught me a lot of this because you couldn't bring more into the house. But I like your distinction there, Jen, because I think frugality could, on one spectrum, lead to hoarding. Minimalism on one spectrum could lead to expensive. And so the pairing of frugal minimalism, for me, it means that I am making really intentional decisions with my finances and resources and home and lifestyle. So because I live frugally and minimally, it means that I'm not collecting things in my home just because they're inexpensive. And I know that for some people with just the frugal mindset, it could mean that. Like, of course, I'm going to buy 10 toothpastes because look at how much I'll save in a year on toothpaste by using this coupon. So that's not my approach. And with that, it has led to an extreme decrease in my thrift store shopping. Previously, I think I was just frugal. And when I paired it with minimalism, I realized that going to the thrift store and getting as many things as possible, even at like a steep discount, wasn't actually serving me because I was filling my home with a ton of things that I didn't need and just kind of caused me more stress and clutter in my house. So frugal minimalism means just not buying and not having a ton. So for example, like we only have one vehicle that, of course, works for our lifestyle because both Eric and I work from home. So that's fantastic. But things like that, where it's leading me to only have the things that I need in a really frugal way.
Yes, I agree with so much of that. I won't copy you exactly, but I do agree with everything that you just said. For us, I would say it looks like very minimalist decor in our house. Because and not minimalist things. We still have a lot of toddler toys because everyone thinks a toddler needs multiple toys at every Christmas and birthday. So we do have the toys, but I don't love decorating things, so I don't feel the need to try and be something I'm not, or do something I don't enjoy, just because Instagram or HGTV tells me I should. So that's something that we keep very minimal. And that means that I buy less home decor. And what I do buy is from a thrift store. I definitely I have a smaller, like, I don't love to shop for clothes, so I just have fewer clothes naturally. But one of the ways I limit that is that primarily only buy clothes from the thrift store or from ThredUp. So I think that's those barriers. I think the commitment to shopping secondhand first just naturally it prevents me from going into stores that sell new things. And so that helps a lot. Yeah, I still make impulse purchases. Amazon is just really easy to do that, but I make a lot fewer of them because it's not the first place I go when I need something.
Yes. Oh, love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for listening. We hope that this has inspired you in one way or another related to your finances, minimalism, how that pairing can look for you, and let us know the benefits that you're seeing, whether that's in our Frugal Friends community group on Facebook, wherever you can find us, Instagram. And we also want to thank you for your kind reviews on Apple Podcasts, like this one from VGlen1417, titled Best Podcast for Values-Based Living. Happens to be 5 stars. Jen and Jill are fantastic hosts for this amazing podcast. They highlight the best things about frugal living. The word frugal can have a bad connotation to it, but as someone who is naturally frugal and prefers simpler living, finding this podcast and this community has helped me solidify my values and has helped me live my life and embrace my frugality. The personal finance aspect also has helped me tremendously. Thanks, Jen and Jill. Amazing.
You're so welcome. I'm so glad you separated the frugality portion from the personal finance portion, because they are separate to an extent. So we're glad it's helped you with both. And we also want to thank our friends who share these episodes on social media. So when you share the latest episode on Instagram, we're adding you to our monthly drawing. For every 5 tags and reviews we get each month, we're giving away $50 for you to spend in the Frugal Friends shop.
Whoop, whoop. So keep leaving us those reviews wherever you listen to podcasts and sending the screenshot to reviews@frugalfriendspodcast.com. And don't forget to tag us on social.
See you next week.
Bye.
Frugal Friends is produced by Eric Sirianni.
Jen, I have done so well with not buying anything because I've been sick for an eternity.
It does seem that way. I feel like I was sick the entire month of December, and you have had it January. It's been so long since we've been together in person.
And that has been a travesty as well. But soon we will be reunited, but I still won't spend any money.
Absolutely.
I mean, thankfully, I just don't spend a lot of money.
I have everything you need right here, honey. I have everything you need right here. Come to my house.
I am content for that. Content in relationships.
Amen. Be my Valentine.
Lifestyle. Oh my gosh, we're a month away from Valentine's Day. Actually, no, with this episode
comes out,
3 days away.
Yeah. No. Get you chocolates.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's
everyone.
Day.
Keep it
Happy
minimal.
Galentine's Day. Yes.
All right. Enjoy.
Land.com can help you find that little patch of ground to call your own and do all the hunting, fishing, and hanging out with the family you want. Just know that getting your own piece of land is something that can generate memories for generations, but also has the ability to generate income in both the near and long term. Like if you just want to start a rental business / family compound. Go to Land.com and check out the hundreds of thousands of rural listings from all across America. Enough dreaming about it. Land.com is a place to find and invest in your open space.
With the best all-inclusive vacation deals to Mexico and the Caribbean, booking your getaway with Cheap Caribbean Vacations means you have more freedom to do your deal. Whether you want to enjoy snorkeling, endless margaritas, and more, or simply soak up the sun and sand in a tropical paradise, Cheap Caribbean Vacations has your deal for that. Plan and book the exact getaway you want at exactly the right price for you by using our exclusive Budget Beach Finder, or find a featured all-inclusive package to Paradisus by Malia Hotels, and do your deal at cheapcaribbean.com.